Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our first live show evening. Lee, that was amazing. That introduction there on our first live. Well done. All the hard work has to go to Lee on that one. So I think I need to invite the guys onto the show. So thank you everybody for taking the time to tune in to watch our first live show. If you want to put some comments, please enter them into the comments. Lee will pick out what we can. And if you want to email in, then we've got an email link which will run across the bottom of the screen. You'll have a little look at that. So thank you all for coming in. First up is producer Lee. Welcome to the show, Lee. And we've got Dan's brother Paul and then Lester.
Where is Lester?
Where is he? There he is. So welcome to the show, guys. We have got Wilbur coming on, but he is out on he's doing a job. He's working, he's doing a delivery. So he's going to come in a little bit later on and he will bring him into the show. And if you've got any questions directed at Wilbur, then hold fire and we'll get them ready for when he comes onto the show. So Lee, first up, producer Lee, show us what we've got coming up on the show.
So the first thing we'll be talking about tonight is we're going to talk about last week's Pyle Kenfig Course vlog on a new section that I like to call What Happened Last Week.
What an amazing golf course that is, Pyle Kenfig. If ever you get a chance to go and play it, it's definitely now on one of my top of my list of golf courses that I've played. Obviously, as I said before, me and Paul grew up around that area, grandparents that grew up around that area, and so we had an opportunity to play it as youngsters. But it's a great golf course, and there was a few moments, wasn't there, Lee? There was a few on that round of golf, and I think we should have a little chat about those before we move into any questions for this evening.
So the first thing we're going to look at tonight is probably shot of the year so far, and that is this one.
Oh yeah, same again. Absolute same again.
That's a great shot.
That is going in. Oh! That hit the flag. Oh my word, Wilbur.
How's that missed?
How has that missed?
How did that miss? And did you notice the delayed reaction, the excitement from us all as it hit the flag, and then took a couple of seconds to actually figure out what had just gone on? But great golf shot by Wilbur. Absolutely fantastic. How many hole-in-ones have we had? And that's a question that I get quite a lot. Paul, how many hole-in-ones have you had?
3.
You've had 3. Lester?
7.
7. Lee?
Unfortunately, I've had 0.
0, but not far away, Lee, I'm sure. And I've been lucky enough to have 9. And I think luck has very much been on my side for a lot of those shots, to be fair.
I think I owe Will an apology for that shot as well, because I did have the drone flying nicely above that shot. I watched the ball hit the flag, but I didn't press record.
Bound to get snags, isn't he? Bound to get snags. It was a good shot. It would have looked absolutely stunning on the drone, but there we go. Not to worry. Right, Lee, what have we got up next? There was an incident, wasn't there?
There was an incident, and it almost cost somebody a place on the bus tour, and that was this.
Oh, there's a club incident. Oh, Bernie.
Hang on a minute, I'm not even going to zoom into that ball.
What's this? You can't do that on Bernie's bus tour. That's got to be a whole back.
Hang on a minute. What has happened? Talk me through it.
Just knew. I knew at the top of the backswing there was going to be a problem.
Mate, I didn't even zoom into the ball. I was more concerned about the flying club. That is disgusting.
Oh, no.
Warning.
Yeah.
Yellow card. Yellow card.
Warning.
Unacceptable. Bernie, thoughts on club throwing on a golf course?
I'd rather not talk about it. I'm still disgusted by the actions of a certain individual.
And how long do these yellow cards last, Bernie? Is that go on record and then, or is it just one round, or how does it work from there?
It goes on record, and any other breaches of discipline will result in that being brought up and used against him.
Right.
So he needs to be on his best behaviour. I'd say probably a probation period of about a year. I'd say that's probably fair, isn't it?
I would say that's fair. Absolutely. Paul, reaction to that situation?
Well, yeah, it's doesn't look good, does it?
We've got people lining up to be on this, to be on the bus tour. So your place is under jeopardy as far as I'm concerned.
There's a bus full of people waiting.
There was also, following on from this, and only a whole later, we had another incident, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, and that involved the leader of the bus tour, and that was this.
You want to go have a look here? Barnsley's just driven into the rope.
Oh no, what have we got here? We've got a scene. We've got... Get this man off the golf course.
What's happened?
What are you playing at?
Hang on.
That's like the ice shot from the chip.
Right, back it up.
Back her up.
Bernie.
I
Bernie,
still
Hey?
can't understand why they'd put a rope so close to the green. That's just asking for trouble. And it was green.
It was green
Why-
should
why
never
would
be
you do
seen,
that?
apparently. Bernie,
Keep the rope.
can you just do me a favour? Because we're getting quite a few comments about this. Can you just show everybody what you've got on your
No.
t-shirt there, please? Come on. Let me see it. Let me see it. Come on, everybody wants to see it. You want to show them your hair?
Look, someone said
No,
let's see the haircut, so it's not great, is it? No,
We want to see the t-shirt. So come on.
Oh,
Just show
t-shirt?
everybody. That's it. The t-shirt. We got some comments. People.
I'll get
Yeah.
that.
Get that mug out of the way. Look at that. I
I
like
like that.
that. What a beautiful t-shirt that is, Bernie.
That's merch.
So are they available for everybody, Bernie, or is it just you? Is it just you with that on?
I'm thinking about. I need to speak to the merch director of the company, which I think will probably be you. But I
Yeah.
can get those produced at a reasonable price, and I want to. If you allow me to reproduce them, then I want to donate some of the profit to charity.
Hey,
But I need to
Bernie,
speak to you about that. So
Bernie, you do it. You do it. If you want to donate some charity, if you want,
Okay.
I tell you what. Why don't we? Let's not look at the profits on that shirt. Why don't we put all of it to charity? So if anyone wants, because let's be honest, that would be a fantastic little thing. So if you want to
Yeah.
produce those shirts and people want to wear those shirts, which I can't imagine there will be, but if there are people who want to have a like that t-shirt, then we will put all of that money to charity. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, you happy with that? So we'll
Yeah.
definitely do that. Get them available. Yes, we will.
Definitely. I can do lots of different colours, so we'll do that.
Okay. So the last situation from last week. Let's have a little chat about that one.
We're slightly downhill when it comes to uphill there, and now it's going to start coming downhill. Oh.
Referee.
Oh.
That's in. That's in.
Oh.
That counts.
What?
It's
What?
gone in the hole, it hit the pin and flicked itself out.
Oh no.
That's in.
Tough. That's got to be in,
That's a
surely.
three.
It's hit the wood.
It's definitely in.
No.
This has caused a lot of chat on my social media platforms following on from that video. Now, this has happened a few times, Lee, hasn't it? Because you had this situation at the Rolls of Monmouth.
I did, yeah. Here's
Wilbur, it's dark. Wilbur, switch the light on, mate. Switch the light on. Wilbur, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Everybody has been missing
Put
you.
your light on. Put your light on, Soph. Yeah.
Get your light on, so come on. So
There
we
we
were
go.
just here he is. Welcome to the show, Wilbur.
Thank you.
Turn your camera on the side.
Turn your camera to the side, Wilbur.
Oh, Christ, it goes a bit low then.
Okay, so
Hold on.
we're chatting briefly about your putt at Pyle Kenfig, Wilbur, and did it actually go in?
All right, let's go lower here.
The-
Yes, it went in.
Yes, it went in. Right. Okay. So
Oh, controversial.
the dark night is here. Brilliant.
There's nothing I can do.
So I've looked at when I was editing that, I looked at this in a bit more detail, as you could see from the VAR on it. But the reality is, the pace of that putt, because of the angle of the way in which the hole was cut as well on that downslope, even if the flag was out, I still don't think it would have gone in. I think it would have hit. It might have hit the back of the hole, jumped up, and gone in.
I think you're being a bit biased.
But it was pacey, and like I said, Lee, you had this situation where it caused, I know, a little bit of a rift between you and Paul when we were at the Rolls of Monmouth, which I'm not sure you two have quite recovered from it yet. But
Yeah, we're friends again.
It was hit at such pace.
The problem is,
it was never going in.
The problem is, Dan, you've got an invested interest in this, and you're making a decision based on personal choices, and that's not right as far as I'm concerned.
I think the only person who's got like an unbiased answer to this is me because I didn't play.
Hang on a minute.
Well,
Who do you
What
work
about
for?
Ian? What about Ian? He said it
Ian
was
said
in.
it was in.
Right, I'll tell you what. Let's let the people decide whether it was in. Right, I'm going to play
said it was in.
VAR. You ready? This is VAR, and let's see what people think.
In. Yeah. It's hit the pin.
Definitely
That's definitely in. Definitely in.
100%.
That's
Pin's
not in.
out. That goes in the middle of the hole.
It's dented the flag.
It's in.
Oh.
Stop being bitter, Dan. He was robbed. Well, we'll leave it at that, shall we? We'll leave it at that. So some say it was in, some say it wasn't in, but the end result was we still won the match. So
Yeah, he finished 2-2 down anyway, so it didn't make a difference, did it?
anyway, it was a good match. Right then, we've had some questions, Lee.
We have had some questions.
Just to let everybody know out there who's watching right now that if they want to send in a question to Lee's got the email there set up. So if you want to send over, here it is. It's Thursday Night Live 0. That is a 0 at gmail.com. So if you want to send in any questions, please send them in. And we want to get you onto the show. So send a question in. Lee will send you a link and you can come on and be one of the faces in the middle there of us five on the show. So what have we got, Lee? What questions have we got going on?
So just to say on that part, we want to get as many people on as we can. So It will be just come in, ask your question, and then we'll say goodbye to you and get somebody else in. We want to get as many people in as we can. So email me that, I'll send you a link and you can come in. But the first question that we've had, because we put these out earlier in the week, is this one.
So if you weren't an ambassador for Titleist, what clubs would you use, Dan? Well, that is still under discussions at the moment with what's happening with Titleist and me for this year. I'm just having a bit of a chat with Titleist at the moment to see what's going to be happening moving forward. There's so many clubs out there that I would happily use. I mean, to be honest with you, in the modern tech, is there a bad club out there now? I think, to be honest with you, any brand, they all make great stuff. It's just what's fitted right for what I like. There's a few products out there that I like, but at the moment, I'm still loving my Titleist irons. I would continue always using my Vokey wedges anyway. And then the Titleist driver, but I'm still using TaylorMade 5-wood, which I love and probably will never change that unless it really starts playing up. But hopefully that answers that. There'll be probably a little bit more information coming out about what's happening with Titleist moving forward in the coming weeks anyway.
Okay, so that answers that. Next question then, and this is probably for all of us to answer.
Yeah.
Which course video do you fondly remember as the most fun you have filmed? So, Lester, why don't you start?
I would say, for me, probably the point of Poles F, because I played quite well for once. That's probably the only one I would say probably is my most fond one.
And what was the reason for that being? What were fond memories of that? The fact that we played it was a lovely golf course, or it was just
played well. So generally, if you play well, you enjoy it more, wouldn't you? But I always enjoy every vlog. To be honest, it's not one I don't really enjoy. All the courses are really good. The golf clubs are really welcoming, and I'm playing golf with my mates. So what could be better?
Good answer, Bernie. Love it. Good answer, that. Do we want to ask that to anybody else? Does anyone else want to answer that?
What about you, Wilbur? Let's get
I'd
you
probably
involved.
say Thelstone.
Thelstone was fun.
Yeah, the scenery was good. We had a good day for it. Like, we played in the evening or that late afternoon.
Yeah.
Did you win?
The weather was really nice. It was a tie. Didn't lose.
It was actually because of the excitement on 18. People thought we actually won that match. It was technically did.
It was my debut as well, so
it was your debut. Yeah, it was your debut. Yeah. Oh, what have you got? What's your favourite?
I'd probably say China Fleet.
China Fleet was good.
it was good. Yeah.
Just because there was so many birdies and eagles flying around, it was
20. I think there was 21 or 23 birdies in an eagle, or two eagles.
Yeah, and it was just great to be involved in that sort of level of golf. Really, it was good fun. It was exciting to play it. It was and it was good that it got caught on camera. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good fun.
Yeah. They're all good fun. They're all good fun. Right, Lee. What's the next question you've got there?
Am I not allowed to answer that question?
Oh yes, go for it, Lee. I know what Lee's going to say. I know exactly what Lee's going to say. Go on, Lee.
It would be France. Like, I just thought those 3 days we had in France were so much fun. It was just a laugh. So for me, it would be France.
Yeah. The France.
Anyway.
And there'll be more of that. You know, there'll be more of that coming forward when we get over all of this and get abroad and get the sun on our back and just enjoy the culture of different countries. It'd be fantastic.
When you say culture, do you mean beer?
Yeah. Well, probably more wine, Bernie. Actually, more wine. Let you stay off the beer.
Okay, next question then. Moving on is, what is each of your goals for 2021? So, should we start with?
Let's start with Wilbur. Let's start with Wilbur on that one.
Probably a consistent year on Euro Pro, but realistically, I haven't really thought about it too much because obviously COVID and everything. It's been quite tricky, isn't it? You don't know when events are going to happen or anything. So, I'll just say that.
So for Wilbur, like obviously being a big year for you, is there anything, Paul, that you would say? Because I've had lots of comments again in the social media side of things asking me about, Will's year, how's he planning, how's he preparing for it? What do you think, Paul, that he should be looking at, being as you've been there and kind of done that? Is there anything in particular that is particularly challenging from when you first get yourself out on tour, from a travel point of view, planning, all of those sorts of things? Is there anything in particular you think Will should really focus on trying to get right as such?
Yeah, I think if it's your first year, I think you've got to get used to the golf courses because they're all going to be new to you. So a lot of people will be going back who you're playing against who have played tournaments there before. So it's getting used to the golf courses. So practice rounds, getting most out of those is going to be probably the most important bit. And obviously getting used to the travelling as well, which I think he does a bit of travelling anyway. So, but yeah, I think just getting familiar with the golf courses, that's going to be the most important part.
Maybe talk to people who have had success at those venues as well. Try and pick their brains a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Might help.
Yeah, absolutely. Good one there, Bernie. Well done. Throwing that one in there.
Thanks.
Paul, what have you got?
Night.
The Dark Knight. Paul, what have you got? What's your sort of ideas for this year? Have you sat down and I know you've had a new baby to the family, but is the PGA Cup? Is it a PGA Cup year for the PGA Pros, or is it what? How's that all kind of unfolding?
I can't keep up with what's going on with the PGA Cup because they cancelled it last year, and then so I don't know whether that's in 2 years' time now. I think because they don't want it on the same year as the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
But that all kind of stems from the PGA Championship, which I think is in Scotland this year in June. I think that's in June. So yeah, trying to get myself ready for that would be quite important. We've got our PGA playoffs are involved in that tournament as well now. So if you do well in that tournament, you're going to get some more European tour starts and get to Wentworth and stuff. So there's a lot riding on that event. So it's a good one to do well at, definitely.
For those of you that don't know, the PGA Cup is run by the Ryder Cup. People that run the Ryder Cup, and the PGA Cup is for the PGA Pros, so those that are qualified PGA Pros or play on regional events and things like that. The head pros are golf clubs and coaches and people like that in the that play at that level. It's a PGA event that is Great Britain and Ireland versus the United States. And Paul, I caddied for Paul in it in 2015. Paul, I think we went to Cordoval in California. Yeah. And what an event that was. Absolutely fantastic. So for those of you who don't know what the PGA Cup is, it's that event. It's a fantastic match play event that's that I know all the guys look forward to trying to get themselves into it. Bernie, what have we got a plan for this year? What are we up to?
Yeah.
The dream team.
Me or us?
Oh, let's talk about you. It's all about you.
Yeah, my plan is to caddy for Paul at Wentworth. So,
that is a good thing because I have fully retired from caddying in any events now.
He needs to get us there.
Yeah, go get there first.
I think you do well, Bernie. You do well in that.
No, just I've entered a few sort of county events and some local 36-hole events. I've entered them. Whether we'll play them or not, I don't know. Obviously, COVID or whatnot. So have to see what materialises from that, really. But yeah, just to play a little bit more, be a bit more competitive. Really, that's it. And
Lee, what's your plans? Obviously you got lots to focus on, haven't you? With not just your golf, but everything else that's going on with you.
Yeah, I've got quite a big year this year. Obviously, a start at Ashbury whenever that opens up. Probably looking to be sort of like March or April time. I've got my own channel that I want to sort of grow, but then I've also got a lot of interest in this channel and its growth. So, and then I've just had a new baby. So yeah, it's going to be a busy year when we can finally get out of this lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely will. Paul, Julian Foot has asked if you could just make him a dry martini, please.
I'm doing dry January, so I'm in the worst place.
I think you've got a Prosecco problem in the back there.
like Prosecco, it's nice.
You like Prosecco, yeah, nice.
What about you, Dan? What's your goals for 2021?
Goals for 2020 from a golfing point of view, unfortunately I don't really have any. If I can get out and play a little bit in the local bits and pieces, then I definitely will do. But my main focus is purely on what this channel is doing, and obviously Torquay Golf Club and the pro shop and that side of it. So from a golfing point of view, if I can get out and play a few, I would love to. But at the moment, the focus is what we're doing with this. And I don't want to sort of muddy the water by trying to focus on playing too much.
Okay, well, next question, and this is probably one for you to answer, Dan, is
yes.
What is everybody's role on the channel?
So Lee is head of cameras, head of basically everything that kind of goes on in the background. Lee and I speak to each other every single day, sometimes more than like 5 times a day, talking about the channel, talking about everything that's kind of going on, planning and all those sorts of things. So Lee is pretty much, he's very much the right-hand man of what's happening with the channel and everything like that, from everything that goes on, really. From Leicester's point of view, obviously Leicester is still the shop manager at Torquay Golf Club, and he very much looks after that side of what the business is from my point of view. From that, he obviously brings a lot of fun and a lot of entertainment to the channel, which is a huge part of what we do and is very much part of the channel. And then Will and Paul will be dipping in and dipping out to whatever they kind of want to do or can do, really. From the golfing point of view, I want to bring them onto the channel as much as possible. But ultimately, I understand that they've both got careers that they're sort of running towards. And so if we can get hold of them at any time, we absolutely will. There's lots of other things that I want to do with lots of other people as well, and bring other PGA pros and things like that into the channel. But that pretty much gives you a run on what's happening with everybody that's involved, really.
Okay, so shall we move on then to a pretty simple one to answer? Any trips to Wales planned for 2021? Yes,
absolutely. There is. Well, we haven't actually got to the finer details, but I know working with Graham Ruth, who helps us in the background of trying to set up places for us to go. He's very much on board with trying to get us back to Wales. And I know those that have seen the Pyle and Kenfig and Ashburnham trips that we've done, they are very much looking forward to us to get back there and do some stuff in Wales again. So yeah, I love it there. I think they've got some fantastic golf courses and very welcoming and easy to get to as well for us. So we will.
I think this next question could take a while to answer, because I think we'll all have different opinions. But it is: dress code, good or bad?
Why don't we just say good or bad? Yeah. Bernie.
It's impossible to put it into either categories, because there's certain aspects of the dress code which I think should remain. Like, for me, you should always have to play in golf shoes or shoes that are specific for golf. That's one thing.
Health and safety thing, though.
What's that safety thing? And just
health and safety rather than just looking the part.
Yeah. There's certain things that I don't think people should wear on a golf course or should wear them that particular way. I hear the old one, like, so expensive golf gear, but you can go down Primark and buy a pair of trousers and a polo shirt for next to nothing. And if you can afford golf club membership, then you should better afford some cheap clothing to look smart on the golf course.
Okay, Wilbur, yes or no?
I'd say it was good. I think you've got to look smart on the course, and there are some clothes that make you look smart, and that's fine. But if you're turning up scruffy and like a scruffy pair of shorts or something like that, it just looks bad.
Look good, feel good, play good, Wilbur.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, yes or no?
Bit of both. Bit like can't really
Bit of
answer that.
Bernie.
I think in the clubhouse, I think you should wear whatever you want and treat it like a pub or a restaurant. But out on the golf course, certainly golf shoes. But as long as you look smart, that's the key. I wouldn't put like tabs on what you can and can't wear, but just as long as you look smart and presentable, half decent, that's fine.
Yeah. Lee, what do you think?
I think definitely. I think there should be some form of dress code. I have no issues with hoodies and things like that, but I just think like football shorts, football tops, and stuff like that is a no-go for me. It looks scruffy, and I don't really agree with it. But that's why I think it's like Lester said. It doesn't cost much to buy a quick polo shirt and a pair of trousers from Primark. So just have a bit of a dress code. But I think it's the places where they're like strict of like no white socks and all that lot. Those days are gone, if you ask me.
I would agree with what Paul's saying. Really, it's more. I'm not too fussed about what happens in the clubhouse, but I think on the golf course, I think if you're dressed in golf gear, I think it's a good thing. Let's move on.
Right. So before we move on, we're going to have a quick guest come in.
Okay.
We've got a guest lined up, and welcome to the show, Andreas.
Hello, everyone from Florida.
Yes, my man. How you
doing? How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you doing, mate?
Pretty good. Okay, so I have this question for every single one of you because all of you are so intense into golf, right?
Are we?
So, what would you do in life if golf was
Is this
not
just
an
me
option?
or is it everyone?
This is for everyone.
I haven't heard a word.
Go on, then. Say again, address.
Oh, can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay. I'm saying if golf wasn't an option for all you, what would you do in life if you had no golf available?
Okay, Lee, what would you do?
I honestly don't know. I spent so long in the Navy, and like coming out, I honestly have no idea what I'd do with myself if I didn't have this job, like this life I've got on YouTube. I wouldn't know. I'd probably be in Tesco's or McDonald's.
Probably more McDonald's.
You always McDonald's it is.
I would have got shares in McDonald's.
Paul, what would you be doing outside of golf, playing golf?
I don't know. I did a business degree back years ago, and I probably would have. A lot of my friends all went up to maybe move to London and got a proper job in the city. I would have liked to have done that for a few years just to sample the whole city life. Certainly would have liked to have moved to London for a bit because I love that city. Probably that I would have thought that was kind of going to be my backup career, basically. So yeah, that would have been good fun.
Bernie, surely you'd have just been a footballer, wouldn't you? The talent that you bring.
No, I tried. I'm not good enough. No, I think I'd have been a PE teacher because I love all sports. So I can play most sports to a reasonable level. Nothing particularly brilliant, but I'd have probably been a PE teacher, I guess. I do enjoy every aspect of sport, and that was my best subject at school. So probably a PE teacher.
For me, now I would definitely have gone into some type of filming, marketing, something like that. I definitely would have gone down that line. I kind of when I graduated from university, I wish I'd studied marketing. So if you take me back now and I'd come back, I know I was focused more on business and sport management side of things, but I think I would rather have should have gone down the marketing level. But now that I've got into cameras and filming, this is absolutely what a passion that I would love to follow, now.
That's awesome.
So that pretty much answers that one for you, Andrew, I think.
Excellent.
Okay,
all right, guys.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Catch you soon, all right?
Right.
All right. Good guy, Andrew.
Okay, so-
Really good guy.
So before we get our
See
next
you,
guest
Will.
cut on,
Yeah, bye, Will.
I will.
Where's Will?
We have a section. Where's Will instead of where's Wally? Where's Will?
So we've got another guest lined up, but before we move on to him, we'll just answer this question. This one's probably for you, Dan.
So how long does it take to film a round? Well, they are, I'll be honest, it probably comes down to how much time we've got. So if we have a whole golf course to ourselves, I think we could be out there. I could be out there all day creating bits and pieces around what we do and creating more B-roll and all that sort of stuff.
What do you mean? Could be. We are.
We watched the sunrise and set at
Pyle.
I've never done that before.
Pyle. We arrived. We got up and we went down for breakfast. We were wandering out to the tee, and it was just the sun was rising. The sun was setting as we were coming down 18, wasn't it? So it can take. Realistically, if we want to produce the quality of what I want and we want to produce, then you're going to be looking at 5 to 6 hours on the golf course.
6.
Maybe.
We've never been running 5 hours.
The only time we do 5 hours is when it's
we got around in 4 hours. We got around in 4 hours when we tried to attempt that 59 at Torquay, but there was only 2 of us, and Lee was
flat.
And it was dark, but we didn't have a lot of time. We'd finished work and we just ran onto the first tee, didn't we? So it can be done. It just means the quality I don't think is as good as what I want, you know? So anyway, next question.
Next question will be a guest. So I'm going to add Simon to the stream. So welcome, Simon.
Simon, hello. Welcome to our Thursday night live.
Very much. Hopefully you can hear me. Guys, I've got a question for you. You do a lot of vlogs. I've watched 1 or 2. You also do a lot of instructional videos as well. Why don't now when I'm watching the vlog, you occasionally hit the odd shotter. Why don't you analyze the shot after the game so people can see what happens in the real game situation?
That is a really good question. One of which actually I've probably never ever thought about doing. I think you're probably it's a good shout. It's what we could definitely do. Just create. At the end of the day, it's creating more content, isn't it? And that's the beauty of this channel is that if I think about a lot of the videos that we've created up to this point, a lot of them have come from the comments, and also then we incorporate into that some of the bad shots that we hit.
Anybody else in the other group? I mean, there might be 1 or 2 of you that are on quite regularly for the segment, but
I don't know. Yeah, but Paul likes to be on the camera, so it's fine.
We could have a week with Leicester. We could have a week of shots from Leicester. Well, interestingly, Simon, that you say that we did on from the Pyle Kenfig and Ashburnham trip that we went on some time ago. Now we filmed it. We have created. I haven't got around to finishing off the edits for it yet, but we have created a little video based on Leicester's short game side of things and his chipping around the greens and pitching. That Paul and Leicester helped. Well, Paul helped to Leicester a little bit in trying to sort that out. So it's something that what you said is, you know, we can look to do a bit more of that. Absolutely.
Just an idea, anyway.
No, it's a good idea. I like it. It just adds to more content at the end of the day. It's great. Really good. Thank you very much for coming on, Simon.
Cheers, Simon. Thank you.
Cheers, Simon.
Thank you. Right. What else have we got from what's going on?
So next question, and this is probably a good one for Paul, I would have thought, and Will, but Will's off delivering Chineses.
Will.
It's not Chinese. He's delivering pancakes and donuts. It's true. It's true. I know you're going to laugh, but that's what he's doing. That's his job at the moment. He's doing the evenings of that. So he's on the road. Next question.
As a new golfer, Paul, should I spend more time at the range or hacking it around the golf course?
Does this come from you, Lee?
Yeah. Type this one in myself.
I wouldn't be trying to get on the golf course too soon, because I think I've seen a lot of people when I've trained them up from beginning, they struggle on the golf course because the game is so difficult. I think I'd be pushing people more to spend a bit more time on the range, getting confidence levels up and getting used to hitting it, because golf is definitely a game that the better you get, the more you enjoy it. So I think you certainly need to go out on the golf course, but I'd be spending more time on the range, getting to a certain standard, then go out on the golf course, and you'll definitely enjoy it more that way than going straight on the golf course. And you can sometimes lose your confidence if you do that. Correct, yeah. I was going to say, you can smash your confidence up pretty quickly, can't you? Yeah. I remember the first time I went down a ski slope, and it takes a bit of time to find your feet with it. So yeah. Okay, Lee.
Moving on, let's get another guest on, and this is Gareth, welcome to the stream, Gareth.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Gareth, welcome to our live show. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Yourselves?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very
Have
good.
we mentioned yet when you come on the show it's £1 a minute? We're not mentioning that.
Well, I get paid £1 a minute.
Pay rise.
Yeah, 2 questions. Firstly, how is the physical training going for Paul, and are you guys doing the similar thing? And then the second one was over under on how many putters Paul uses this year.
Paul, training. How's
Right.
your training going?
It's not going too well. I've got tennis elbow in my arm, which is I'm just resting it at the moment, and I've had it since probably end of November. So I was doing quite a bit up until that point, but I've had to just lay off completely with that at the moment. So that's a bit of a downside. Also, the gyms are all shut around here, so that's obviously scuppered things a bit. Yeah, so there's excuses. So yeah, that's that. But hopefully, if I can get rid of this tennis elbow soon, I can then start doing a bit more. But I want to rest that really because it does affect my golf and it is hurting me. So I need to be careful of that. And what was the other one? Putters. So the putters, I think I've only changed my putter 3 times this year, but because the videos go out
It's only the 21st.
different sequences, it makes it look like I've got one every week. But yeah, I've only changed 3 times this year.
You've had the Cali,
but
yes, Cali.
I got
You've
the
had
Cali,
yes, Cali,
Ghost.
you've had that TaylorMade Ghost, which always goes left.
Yeah.
And now you've got the Sally.
And I got Sally, which is here actually.
Sally, yeah.
Which I'm going to stick with that, I think, for the minute because it's working really well. But yeah, and they're all pretty similar, and I've used them a lot, so I'm pretty confident with all of them. So you know, it's not they're all set up exactly the same, pretty much the same weight, same lie angle. They just give a slightly different feel off the face every time. And I've had those putters for quite a while, so it's not like I'm buying a new one every week. It's just more of a rotation thing. But I'm quite happy on that Sally now, so hopefully that goes well. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then our training. I'm not doing any training right now. Bernie, are you doing any training?
Not golf specific, but I go running like 4
yeah.
times a week. So I started running.
Do you remember that time we went to the gym, Barnsey?
Yeah. This
is hilarious. This is hilarious.
So
the only time my biceps get a workout when there's a Big Mac in my hand.
Yeah, that's it.
Paul dragged me to the gym once.
This is about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Ages ago.
I think you wanted to do 2 hours. I did about an hour and then started talking to some girls and went off to get some food with them, I think, if I remember.
No, you did about 20 minutes. You then went up, you started speaking to these girls. You went upstairs to get a beer with them. And then you came back down after about an hour and I was still in there working out. And you go, we're off to McDonald's now. You come in. And I was like, no.
Whoops.
There you go. Great stories. Right, Gareth, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Cheers.
Thank
you.
you. Take care.
Right, before we move on to the next question, one of our viewers called Jason Little has kindly bought Paul a scrubber.
Oh, thank goodness for that, Jason. Thank you so much. Oh, that's sweet.
I can't believe how the microphone picks that up. It's
So Paul has, by using Super Chat, has paid £4.99 to you, Dan, which he's going to give to Paul to buy him a scrubber. So you now need to give Paul a scrubber.
Yeah, hang on a minute. The guy, Jason, owes the extra £1 for the postage.
Sorry, Jason, you need £1.
Thank you, Jason. Oh, don't worry, Jason. I'll cover that. Don't worry about that. Thank you very much.
Serious question. Do you want a Sunday morning show one, or do you want a Talkie Golf Club one?
Oh yeah, no, you.
Oh, I don't know. Got to be Sunday morning show, isn't it?
Yeah, good choice.
Well, I think we can arrange that.
Okay,
Lee, what
so next question, probably for you, Dan, is what's the best thing you've learned so far since going it alone?
YouTube.
You've learned a lot about YouTube.
A lot about YouTube. I knew nothing about YouTube when I got going with this channel. Nothing, because I'd never needed to know anything about it. So all I knew was I'd learn pretty quickly how to learn how to use a camera. And if you go back on some of Mark's vlogs originally. My camera work was terrible. I used to get hammered in the comments about my camera work. But I didn't know anything about YouTube, and that's obviously, you know, when I got chatting with Lee about it, and Lee's helped me massively on how YouTube works. So yeah, just I would say that's about the main thing that I've learned about this, and also about what happens in the world that we don't see about golf, you know, the marketing world of golf, and dealing with that side of it as well. I'm learning on the job with that as well. So yeah, it's yeah, been an interesting year. What is coming up to a year now, isn't it, Bernie? Where that first video kind of went out.
Yeah, it was end of January, wasn't it? So maybe about an hour, I thought.
Yeah, end of January. So coming up close to that 1 year that we properly got kind of going with this, you know. So that's yeah.
I think you've also learned, Dan, that 24 hours in a day isn't enough.
It isn't. It honestly, for when you're trying to piece things together, prime examples today. You know, I spent the last 2 days putting together this Titleist new Pro V1 golf ball video together, and I've got it all edited. It's all ready to go, and it just will not upload. I'm trying to get it working, and the video was supposed to go out today at 4 o'clock. Couldn't get it out. So it can be frustrating, you know, when you're up late doing it and then it doesn't happen. It's just, you know, bound to get glitches with it. But yeah, so I've learned quite a lot.
So the next question is, and it's a big one. I'm trying to find the whole question, but it's, who do you look towards to hone your golfing skills? So it was more aimed at like sort of like Paul and Dan. Who are you looking at to help you hone your skills? And I suppose for me and Lester, it's like, which pro are we looking at to do the sort of similar thing?
Paul, do you want to get on that?
Well, I do most of any technical work and stuff. I do that myself now. Obviously, I've had loads of coaches in the past, which I've learned a lot from. I'm always learning new things every day. And when you play golf, you learn something new every time you play. So I think the key is that you're constantly taking in knowledge and then working out what best to apply to yourself. Really, that's what I do. I do everything myself, but I do ask people certain questions if I need to and stuff. But yeah, I've learned a lot. You know, playing golf for so long now, I kind of know where it needs to be and where it doesn't need to be.
I don't think I'm always searching. I'm always messing about in the studio searching for something, and I don't even know a lot of the time. I don't think it's more I'm looking at other people to help me. I ask Lester what he thinks, or come and look at this, Bernie, is what I normally say. I got a new move, but normally I'm just searching or trying to find something. In my game, it's you know, I hate looking at myself, my swing on the camera, whereas Paul is focused on that heavily over his career. I'm one that likes to just focus on a feel rather than actually, you know, looking at the camera, which Paul I know doesn't like that, but it's, you know, it's the way we are. So we're just slightly different. So no, I don't look at anyone in particular for that.
Lester?
So my long game coach is obviously the boss Dan. He's looked at my swing for the last 10 or so years, but I've got a new short game coach now, and that's Paul. He's an up direction.
It depends how you do. Like this could be the end of any coaching I do, isn't it? If this goes wrong.
Well, there is a reason why I don't go anywhere near it.
What about you, Lee?
So
Lee,
for me,
you're a YouTube searcher as well, though, Lee, aren't you?
I don't really. I started off when I first started on YouTube. I started off watching YouTube videos to sort of learn, but I found out quite quickly that you can think you're doing what they're telling you to do, but no one's there to tell you you're not, if that makes sense. So what changed for me a lot was when I came to you on that journey, and then learning, like trying to change different things. Like I've just gone back to lifting my left foot because I can't not do it anymore. I find myself getting all caught up. So when it's technique based, I take a lot from what you tell me, Dan, obviously. And then course management wise, I have to watch what Paul and Will do and take note of it and sort of make mental notes about how they get around the golf course. Because I just think from what I've seen, and I don't play with a lot of top end players, but from what I've seen, they are the best at getting around a golf course that I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You can learn, like Lee will learn. You will learn a lot just playing with us guys. You know, watching what kind of goes on. I did it as a kid, watching when we used to caddy for Bob Notpool and playing with those guys. You know, you learn so much by just watching those good players play. And I don't know if you learn that much from watching it on TV. I think you have to kind of be there with them, going along with it as such. You know, when you're doing it. So yeah, you will learn a lot. Lee, is there somebody else has done a donation here? What's going on here? Have you put out a feeder for donating money or something?
So what this is,
Terry Woodcock from Tennessee. Thank you, Terry. I don't know what that is, Terry. That's obviously you've donated $10 there.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, what I did is I paid him to say that I was inspiration, so he sent it back. But no, what this is, it's called Super Chat. It's at the bottom, so it's people can like donate into the channel to help support the channel, and that's what they've done. And what it does is it highlights their comment, and then we can bring their comment into the chat to say thank you for their donation.
Thank you very much, Terry. That's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks to Terry. And
learn something every day. Learn something every day.
So yeah, and the fact I'm your inspiration, I feel sorry for you.
Right, next one. What have we got? We've got 50 minutes left. About that.
So what questions we have now? This is probably another good one for you and Paul to answer. It's quite a long one. Recommendations on what to focus on to get down to single figures, or even Leicester actually. Play more or practice more, and if the latter, how do you structure or focus good practice? Silent.
Come on, Paul.
I'll go.
I mean, I can go if you.
Well, I think to get down to single figure, I mean, it depends where you're coming from. You know, are you coming from 28 handicap, or are you coming down from 10 handicap? You know, so I think you need to. Is that so? We've got practice and focus on
structure.
Practice. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You just need to. I think if you look at golf as loads of different departments, so I don't think you should neglect any. I think there's the mental side, there's the short game side, there's the course management side, there's the striking side. There's loads of different sides that you need to. And I think if you just improve every one of those areas a little bit, that's going to help with the bigger picture. I think if you focus too much on hitting golf balls and your technique, I think that will get you to a certain level. But if you want to start, getting down to single figures, which is basically getting your handicap down, so therefore your scores need to be lower. You just need to get good. You need to improve everything a little bit, and then that will add up to a much bigger picture.
Yeah, Bernie, you were one for playing more. Like, I know you're going to say you weren't, and I know you used to hit golf balls, but you played a lot. Like me and Paul would spend a lot of time at the range and play maybe 2 or 3 times a week, I suppose. But you used to play a lot with your dad and things like that, didn't you?
Yeah. So for me, getting my handicap down, I used to play a lot at Churston. So I learned to play one particular golf course. That got me down reasonably low without getting me into things that like you and Paul were playing in, like the county team and stuff to start with. You were both 2 or 3 years ahead of me. So to get your handicap down, I did it just by playing on the same golf course and playing a lot of competitions around that golf course. And then when I realised I wanted to get in the county teams and stuff, I had to try and transfer that from that golf course onto other golf courses. So I probably dedicated more time to practicing and not playing as much at Churston, which was my home club. And then I got county recognition a couple of years after you two guys, really.
And that's because it was more of your travel, wasn't it? You didn't necessarily travel and play a lot of other golf courses was the issue for the county setup.
No, I wasn't shooting scores. I wasn't really playing a lot of stuff. I've always had a lot of interest in other sports as well. As golf's never really been my number one focus. I enjoy playing football. I've played cricket. I played every sport really, and still do really. So it's never been my sole focus in life. So it's more of a time thing rather than. I did do a couple of years, don't get me wrong, I went away and played a lot of stuff, but a lot of the time I was still playing cricket in the evenings and summer, and I was playing football in the winter like I do now. So to go away for 3 or 4 days playing in tournaments, I didn't really have the time with working and stuff like that, to be honest.
For me, when I look at this, it's number one, try and surround yourself with as many good players as you can, who will drive you forward, and you can learn from them, a bit like what Lee's kind of doing. And I think that there's no right or wrong. I think we all have our own ways in which we get better and the way in which we learn. For me, when let's say I was at university, I used to practice a lot, hit lots of golf balls, and I don't think it really did me any massive favors. I didn't play great golf. I would say now I don't practice at all. I hit a few balls in the net every now and then in the studio, but I never go and hit balls. I never really practice my putting or anything like that. And I would say that I'm a better golfer now than I was when I was at university, hitting less balls. So I think it's you have to find the right balance for you. If you're someone that likes to play more, then focus on that. If you're someone that likes to practice a lot and loves to hit balls, hitting golf balls for me used to knock my confidence a lot, because what I used to do is go out and play. If I wasn't striking it like I was hitting it on the range, it would knock me for 6 on the golf course, and I would shoot in the 80s easily. So it's what works for each individual, and you've just got to find your own balance, I think.
Right. So before we let in the next guest, I'm just going to say a big thank you to Mark's Cars, who said big thank you to me for the content. It's very entertaining, but I've learned quite a lot about stance and swing and how to approach my good shots. Good stuff. So thanks, Mark, for your donation. It's massively appreciated.
Mark comments a lot on all the videos that we do. I know he's actually probably going through a few backlog ones now. He's commented on quite a few of the older ones. So thanks a lot, Mark. And not what we were expecting, guys. I don't feel like we have to do that. Thank you. Very kind.
But we can buy Bernie some jeans now. That's what everyone's saying. We can buy some non-ripped jeans. Right, so I'm going to let in another guest, and is Alan should be coming in. Is he there? Alan?
Alan? He's doing a will.
He's doing a will.
Alan?
Right, I'll take him out, and we'll add Kerry while we're waiting for Alan.
Here he comes.
Kerry, how are you?
So we'll add Kerry while we're waiting for Alan.
How are you doing? All right?
Yeah, not bad. I just finished my kettlebells workout.
Lovely.
You'd still be there.
Thanks for coming on to the show, mate. What question have you got for us?
It's what to do on a tight course. I basically spent all the summer not using my driver, because if I hit my driver on most of the holes, most likely it will take me into trouble. So, but I have one hole where I can hit my driver, and it tends to be either a really good shot or totally out of bounds. So what would you do? Would you start practicing on your course so you get better with your driver on the tee, or carry on hitting irons and hybrids?
Anyone want to take this? Paul, do you want to take this? I mean,
I think it depends. I mean, it's either one or two things. It's either you play at a very tight golf course, or you've got a big dispersion with your driver. So I think it depends. It depends what the situation is first before you go diagnosing it. So I mean, if you're at a tight golf course, then you need to strategize better and hit irons and sacrifice a bit of distance for the length. If it's your dispersion, then I think you need to work on getting your driver straighter. I mean, I certainly don't think not hitting your driver is going to help long term. I think I remember years and years ago, my driving was the worst part of my game. I'm going back a lot of years now. I just spent the whole winter smashing drivers at the practice area until I could hit it straight, and that was what I did, and I got my confidence back doing it that way. So I think it depends on what your golf course is like first, and I think then obviously work out if it's you or the strategy you're using, really.
I get a lot of confidence at the range with my driver, but when I get to the golf course, because it doesn't suit a driver, so I can hit a very good shot and it'll just go through the fairway into the trees.
There's no consequences on the driving range. Doesn't matter if you hit a bad one, so you tend to forget the bad shots you hit. Whereas on a golf course, if you hit a bad shot, with your driver, you lose your ball, then there's more consequences.
What I would say about when it comes to driving ranges and golf courses is you've got to either bring the golf course to your driving range or take the driving range to the golf course. And Paul, I remember Paul going through, and Paul and I spent hours at the range because I had a horrendous time with woods off the tee. Like, I remember playing in the Sunningdale foursomes once, playing against Andrew Olcorn and Gary Emerson, and I hit this ball so far right, and I heard Gary Emerson saying to Andrew Olcorn, "I've never seen a ball go that far right ever." It's the most horrendous feeling that when you're going through such a bad spell. Well, me and Paul used to set up on the range at Churston. We used to stand up there with brand new Pro V golf balls with like properly trouble down the right, like your game over ball gone. When you're paying £3 a ball that we were paying for golf balls back then, you don't want to lose the golf ball. And, so you have to that's us bringing the golf course to the range and putting ourselves under the cosh of hitting the golf ball on the range, just like you would on a golf course. It's so important. You either bring the range game that you've got to the golf course and you get into that same mentality, or you bring the golf course to the range. And I know it's hard on modern day driving ranges and you almost want to find yourself a field to go and hit into, but that's something that you could definitely work on. All right, Kerry.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot.
Right. The good news is Alan's back.
Yay!
Alan!
Echo. This better be working. Okay. Yeah, just wanted a quick question. Been playing golf a couple of years more seriously. Starting to try to work on my strike. I've noticed that it massively changes depending on where I focus on the ball. Either back of the ball, top of the ball, front of the ball, or even not on the ball at all, just on the grass in front of the ball. What's your feelings on different shots? Does it come and go? Do you change depending on what clubs you hit? Or do you have a point of focus that's the same every time?
Paul, go on.
Sorry, I didn't hear the first half of that question. It was cutting out on me. So.
Oh yeah, good excuse.
Alan, what you're saying is, where do you focus on a particular area of the golf ball? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I personally don't. I just play golf and hit the ball, but I think it's because I've played for so many years that I don't actually. I don't really focus on the golf ball at all. It just happens to be at the bottom of my swing. But I would guess more people are more technical, aren't they? Lee, what about you?
Sorry, Alan, I have to keep muting your mic because of the echo. So, it's something I've been looking at recently, is focusing on where the strike is on the club and actually trying to move that, not necessarily with my swing, but more mentally. So more thinking, because normally when I play golf, I think about the outcome rather than the actual part of hitting the golf ball. I think, where's it going to end? So I spent a lot of time hitting the ball, and if you haven't got launch monitors, you can use foot spray on your club. And when you get like a pattern, mine was more in the heel, I stood over the ball and I started thinking about moving that strike to the toe. And then I found myself actually doing it with no change in necessarily swing, but because I'm thinking more about the actual strike as opposed to where it's going to finish, I was able to get a little bit more consistent with strike. With driver, I close my eyes and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think working on strike is an important part of learning the game. And like Lee said, moving strike across the face, setting up more in the heel, setting up more in the toe, as just experimenting, looking, working on low point as well. So where do you bottom out before the ball, or do you bottom out after the ball? Focusing on those key areas are just as important as anything else. Lester and I talk about it a lot, but strike is king, isn't it? King, Bernie. And if you need to practice that strike location across the face, and most importantly as well, the low point where you're coming in, and you need to become more aware of it as well. I think that's the starting point, is where do I keep hitting the ground? Where do I keep bottoming out? And then you try and then move your positioning across, and also push the ball position way forward and try and hit it, push the ball position way back and try and hit it. All of those things they're only creating good senses with you.
Well, when I was teaching, if I was mainly used to teach juniors, but I'd get them to try and hit a tee peg out the ground. just because the focus on the tee peg is so much smaller than the ball.
Yeah.
If they can consistently knock the tee peg out of the ground, when you put the ball on top of the tee peg or the ball on the ground, it looks so much bigger. Yeah. Just gives them more confidence. So
things like hitting 80s and things like that.
Yeah, maybe try hitting something smaller than the ball.
Correct.
Trying to middle that really, and then work from there.
Don't want 65.
Yeah. Aim small, miss small. Hopefully that answers that a little bit for you, Alan. But strike is very important. It's something I think a lot of people should work on because it's generally the first thing that kind of goes with lots of players. Strike goes, you know.
Thank you very much. That's great.
All right, Alan, thanks for coming on.
That was worth the wait.
Right, so we'll have one last question before we close. We've been going an hour, and it's quite a good question to close on, really. Probably one for Dan again, and that is, how do you see the channel developing in 12 months' time? Same formula or a rethink in its direction?
I think we found a formula with the course vlogs that I think have become very entertaining. People have really enjoyed watching what we're doing from the course vlogs. I don't see that changing. I had big plans for this year. Obviously, they've been put on hold for a minute with regards to course vlogs. And I love to travel. I love to see different golf courses, meet different people. So I want to bring people along on that journey. When it comes to formulas, other parts of the channel, in order for the channel to grow, which is what we all want it to do, course vlogs, as Lee and I have discussed, they're fantastic. And I think our subscribers really, really enjoy being part of them, but they're not overly searchable content, which is something that we've had to focus on. And this is all about learning what about YouTube and social media and all of those sorts of things. So we will be getting a bit involved in reviewing products. We will be getting involved in the coaching element. There's something that Paul and I have been discussing about, coaching and coaching days and things like that. So, but even my initial thoughts of how the channel would start off and how it would go, they're already changing, and they have changed over the last 12 months. And, like you will have seen a couple of videos that have come out recently, which is the one at Ashburnham, the little drone footage that I did with up at the golf club. They're videos that I really enjoy making. Getting the artistic sort of juices flowing a little bit. I really, really enjoy that. And I want to do more of that. And that's probably more my passion than anything else. But I think that people enjoy seeing a lot of those with music and all of that sort of stuff. So there'll be a bit of that going on. But for the most part, course vlogs and travel and reviewing resorts, reviewing golf courses is kind of the way I want it to go. Enjoy playing golf. And that's what golf is all about. Golf is not just, for me, it's not about standing on a range and hitting balls all the time. It's actually getting out and playing golf with your friends and traveling and getting cultures and absorbing all of that. So that's what this channel is all about as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. So anything else you want to say, Dan, before we've got no more questions? So anything else you want to say before we close this off? No,
hopefully everybody has enjoyed our first live. I've certainly enjoyed. I've actually really enjoyed the setting up of it. Getting
understanding
how you go live on YouTube has been fun, and getting everything in place. It's been really good.
We've tested this a lot.
Tell me about it. But yeah, so we will do more of this. We will. I want to try and do this, make this a weekly thing.
What days are you going to be on?
Possibly focus on a Thursday, Bernie. I know you generally. Play football on a Thursday, don't you still?
No, I don't. No, I didn't do it on a Thursday.
But we will look to bring on some other guests onto the show, and I do like this format where we bring people onto the platform and they can ask some questions and get involved with what we're all about. So I think that's it, guys, isn't it? Wrap it up.
Yeah.
I got that.
Boys, thank you very much for getting involved as well, boys. All right. And Lee, thanks again for all your help, producer Lee. And thank you everybody for watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got loads of stuff coming, even though we are in lockdown. See you soon.
Hold on, you've not finished how you finished. And as always, stay safe.
Oh, stay safe, yeah.